Hey, what's up, guys? Over here, bringing you another high-level Halo Wars commentary. Today, we're going to be playing our repository against Kai's and Metalhead Monkey. They will be running Cutter Arby, and I will be with Pursue all day, and we too will be running Cutter Arby. So, Cutter Arby, as of the last few months and basically the last few years in Halo Wars, has pretty much been the dominant combo. There's always been a couple months where Anders Brute was in favor or Anders Arby, but for the most part, people are just finding ways to beat Hogs and twos. Hogs are still by far the best unit in threes, but in twos, most of the time you can just turtle up with tanks until you get a full pop canny or eventually power turret, and you can just win with that. If you have a good enough RB that knows how to play defense, which Pursue is, and if you have a good enough cutter that knows when they can and can't push, maybe to deny the triple or whatever. But regardless, this is a cutter RB mirror, so no need to talk about Anders anymore. So me pursue Kai's and Metaloid search each other out a couple times a few nights ago, and we had some good games. This is probably the best one. They might upload one or two. I don't know. I think they were both recording as well, so maybe you'll see them uploading some games against us, but I don't really know. So what me and Pursue are gonna plan on doing this game is just playing defense, and then I'm just going to go into tanks. I prefer on this map, most of the time in a Cutter RV Mirror, to do somewhat of an eco build, especially when Pursuit decides to play defense. You can play this map a couple different ways. Either one team can go hogs, both teams can go hogs, both RBs can play defense, which turns into just basically both RBs going Summit 7th and building Vamps and Tech 2 RBs. It's kind of a really slow game. Or one RB trying to go on offense and the other one playing defense and running each other down, or in the cases where both teams go offense and both teams go hogs, it's a pretty stupid game as well, where both RBs pretty much get stripped, and then it's just a battle of the UNSCs and clicking the cubbies back into killing tanks. So this game, you're going to see, I'm not planning on going Warthogs, and we don't believe Kai's is either. So I'm just going to get my Warthogs up here to try to camp. We're going to have a little bit of a scout war here because Kai's is not opting to camp because Pursuit's just playing defense. He'd probably just rage on the Hogs, so Kai's is just going to try to kill my Warthogs. So Metaloid is just going to decide to pop up at my base, which is kind of random. Normally, when you want to go on offense, you try to hit the other RB, but Metaloid likes to do this little thing where he just goes Temple second offense and just walks in circles. Basically, he upgrades all his pads with the defensive cubby. You're not. It doesn't really put you any further ahead. Actually, the defensive cubby is slightly further ahead if they don't go for grunts. But I think Pursue built one or two grunts this game, so Metaloid will be ever so slightly ahead. If not, they're just even. But it's really not that big of a difference. Neither team is really doing any damage on the other team's base. We're pretty much dominating the scout war. I just killed the ghost. They no longer have any scouts, and we still have a warthog to camp and a ghost to check things out on the other base. So what I'm going to be doing is just going depot 7th on my main and delaying throwing up another depot as long as I can, just to get as many heavies as I can. Because I had a feeling at the beginning of this game that this was going to be a decently long game. So I just want to have the best eco that I can, and candy down teching really isn't the best idea on this map because the bases are so far apart. You can pretty much, Defender's Advantage it dominates on this map due to the teammates' bases being so close and the enemy team's bases being so far away. So I'm just now building my first tank, and soon you're going to see Metaloid doing something kind of special here, so I'll have a little special thing for that coming up here. I'm just still upgrading as many pads. It's just the pretty boring part. Like I said earlier, Metaloid's going to be going Summit 7th, and I believe so will Pursue, but I don't really look at his base. As I said in a couple videos ago, I don't really look at my teammates' bases that often. So right here, Metaloid is just walking circles. He didn't build any grunts, really. Pursue has a grunt stuck in the side of his base, and he has one behind my base just trying to grunt Metaloid. It's not very easy to win the other RB just walking in circles. So I'm just going to pump a second tank, and I have my base locked because I know Metaloid's goal is basically just to kill my first tank or two and give Kai's a lead. So I'd rather just lock my base and not take that risk. So right here, I guess we'll cue the music, and I'll be back shortly. So, as Metalway would like to say, that's a thing. So Metalway decided to rage down a Fiendish Arby with a Fiendish Arby, pretty much just making both UNSCs heal. But the difference is Metalway had to waste like $500 to rage down Pursue for pretty much no reason, while Pursue raged a couple times. So I guess Metalwood just decided to throw away any minimal lead that he may have had. So now I guess me and Pursuer are just gonna go grab the middle. I'll heal him eventually in the middle. I just want to get this cleared quickly and get there before they do. I'm buying a Sentinel so they can't just come in and Candy Pursue's Dead Bar RB or push with a couple stock tanks and just shoot him a couple times and kill him. That's the place I put my Sentinel, is where you should probably have your Sentinel as well. That's where the tanks normally will come from. So if they see you have the Sentinel, they are aware that you are the one in the middle, and they are probably going to be discouraged from pushing in when you have that there, because well, at least one tank will get slowed down, and by the time they get to the middle, you can probably have the ability to buy another Sentinel, which is going to be a rough fight for their tanks if they have no stunners and you have like 2 or 3 of them even. So here, exactly what I said, Kai sees that I have the Sentinel. He decides to pull back with his 2 stock tanks. As you can see, I also have 2 stock tanks getting canny. Their Arby's coming in. I'm thinking I do not want to engage that, even though I have an Arby with me, because a full tech 1 Arby can still kill 2 stock tanks, even with another Arby raging it. So I'm just going to run away. I know he's not going to be running the way I am, so I just run to the left. Kai hits Candy a little before me, because I think he did a little less of an eco build. So he runs, Pursue runs in there, gets cannied pretty much, so my heal is pretty much useless. I say just recall at all costs, just live. That's all you need to do, so they can't do a big push on his base or something. And if they did get to do a push, if Pursue died, then I'd have to waste my D-bomb. But instead, Pursue gets a lucky recall off and Canny's come up the hill, but nonetheless, he still lives. So I'm waiting. He clicks me for another heal, but my heal is not even back from the first time I healed him. So the heal is back, and I just drop him a quick heal. So we're just planning on turtling up a little bit and playing some defense while Pursue heals, and they're going to be taking some stunners and some middle money that I cleared for them, basically. We got about half of it, but I think they actually got a little bit more, because there are a ton of crates that drop on that right side where Metalway was just standing right now, and he got the majority of them. So that wasn't the best move in hindsight, but at least the RB lived, and that's what matters. I'm just touching up on Kai's pads to try to check how much of an eco lead I have on him, because I'm assuming I do have an eco lead because I saw him go quick fortress at the beginning of the game. So we're thinking we want to go back to the middle and do a little hit in the middle. So we're going to just be doing a little bit of ring around the rosy when we meet their tanks. I have about 4 tanks. A 5th one is coming down the ramp as well. Their RB is now healing too. I'm just going to buy the stunner because those will really help out on a tank engagement. We both have 4 tanks and a Tech 2 RB in the middle. Our 5th ones are both getting down there right now, so neither Kai's nor myself are cannying because we want to candy the RBs. Pursue just runs in there like a hero again and gets insta-cannied. So I'm pretty much on my own right here. I know I'm going to have to drop a D-bomb or else I'm going to pretty much lose all my tanks. So I drop the quick D-bomb. I try to canny Glitch's RB. I'm sure everyone knows how to canny Glitch right now. On infantry units, you just click Y on the Arbiter and then click X to move somewhere else, and you get your candies back if you actually kill the unit. But I didn't kill Metalwood, so I didn't get my candies back. But fortunately, I'm going to be able to catch all 4 of these tanks, or at least 3 of them. I have a 2nd tank coming down the ramp, and I have 3 stunners, which are pretty deadly. That one tank that's being stunned right now, that's not going anywhere quick, as you can see. I thought about splitting my other tanks off to the side, but for some reason, I thought the Covey base, like in the moment, was where Kai's main base is, and the RB would be running down or something. So it was pretty stupid. I could have easily caught that tank if I sent the 3 like I initially tried to. But it's really not a big deal. It's just 1 tank, and right now I have like 6 tanks on the field, and Kai's probably has 3 or something. So I'm definitely in the lead. So right now I'm thinking I want to get Power Turret, because I am 100% confident I have a tank lead right now, and not only do I have a tank lead, but I have 3 stunners to Kai's 0. So I'm sort of make my way up to Metalwood's base. First, I'm clearing out this base so all my tanks don't get shot every time they pass this base. It's a super annoying thing on this map. Especially if you're like having a gunner hog battle at the beginning of the game, like every single gunner hog that drives through the middle or by that rebel, like rebel bases around the side, just get destroyed. So they see we're coming. Metal puts a vampire there to check out where the tanks are, and Kai's is probably going to be repositioning his tanks to the in front of Metalid's base if they weren't already there. But I've already down-tech power turret. I just down-tech straight away because they don't have any real threat they could mac, but they don't have enough vamps to really go up there and shoot it down. So I just know I can safely down-tech. I pushed my stunners. Since they saw that I was planning on going to Metalid's base, I opted to just make a U-turn of a little bit and just think we're going to go hit Kai's base now because we're thinking unless they scout again, which of course Metalid scouts again. So now we could still go in for the push, but I'd rather try to push somewhere where their tanks aren't, so we get a free couple pads off one of the bases at least. So now we're turning around again, and we're thinking we want to hit the Covey. So I'm almost on full pop of tanks. I'm thinking about getting Spartans out of this time, but since we're about to have a tank engagement, I'm probably going to have to throw up another supply pad instead of that barracks. I'm going to have to repump tanks instead of building Spartans when I'm on full pop. So they rescout us again, and they know we're coming. Kai's is probably sitting right in front of the base, and nope, Kai's is actually in the middle, but he's heading. Heading to the base. We're gonna meet at the same time. I'm just trying to shoot down a couple of supply pads real quick. I have power turret. Kai's, I don't know if he has power turret. I don't think he has power turret quite yet, but it's probably about to finish. I killed a lot of tanks, yet he still has at least equal numbers with me, and he's getting power turret. That just shows you how good Defenders is on this map, because all my other tanks that I had a lead on him are in the process of going across the map. And now I see Kai's has like 6 tanks. He dropped a Mac. They're raging me, so I'm pretty much getting all my tanks raped. Pursue's going to run in there again like a hero, and he's going to get insta-candied. So this definitely wasn't the best game for Pursue's rage, but luckily, luckily we were able to just turtle up after this. I'm going to have to pull back here. There's no way I can stay up there because they have a pretty hurt RB, but a hurt RB is still an RB, and I have 2 weak tanks right there that he could easily get quick health off of, and now Kai's picks off one of the tanks. I'm just trying to run away with him as best I can. But the good thing that came out of this, even though I'm pretty far down on tanks, is that I still dropped, I believe, 2 pads and weakened another pad off Metalhead's base, so that's going to give Pursue a decent eco lead. And I think we had air lead too. So Pursue's looking in a good spot, looking to be in a good spot, especially when his RB gets back out. As long as they don't get the opportunity to do a big push and basically kill Pursue's main, we're looking pretty alright right here. But as you can tell, I have 2 tanks, and that's about it. I tried to get those other 2 tanks out, but I misclicked on like the ledge, and my tanks turned right around because apparently that's the best path to that point is turning around because pathfinding's amazing in this game. But I'm just going to be double pumping on defense while Pursue tries to pick off that last pad, which he successfully does while he's getting raged down and chased by tanks. So I saw that Kai's tanks were on playing defense. So I know I have a little bit of breathing room to go do whatever I want. So I'm going to decide to go clear that Expo up at the top. It's on the north side of the minimap. I opted to clear that one because Kai's base is closest to that base. And normally you clear, the best base to clear is the one furthest away from the Covey base. Because if they send the tanks out, if we take this base and Kai sends his tanks over to kill the base I'm clearing right now, I'm going to have a free route to just go to Metalid's main base, the Covey, and basically kill the Covey main in exchange for a not really needed Expo. And they'll be pretty much out of position. So that's why I cleared that base. And even if we don't get the base up for a little while, Pursue's still going to be able to get the money from the base and put himself in an even further eco lead. So we have a lot of vampires. We're just sitting back. Right now, the ball is pretty much in their team's court, and we're just waiting for them to try to do their little push. While we just sit back on defense and bump back up. We're still building vampires and tanks, and I'm almost full pop again, and they haven't hit our base, so we're not really too afraid of anything they have to come with right now, as long as we have all the access points scouted, which Pursue did a great job of doing. He has vampires by the 2 middle bases and through the middle, so my tanks will be in position no matter where Kai tries to push through. So this is just the boring late game part, and just checking to see they cleared their base because I just want to make sure they don't have theirs cleared because I know sometimes Metalwood likes to clear that base super early, and when he's UNSC at least, and try to get a quick expo, just turtle up. But obviously, Kai's a UNSC, and they don't have the base cleared. So I'm asking Persuvi is the money to take that base, and he says no because I believe he's actually going for a Tech 3 Arby and a Tech 3 Stasis Bomb right now. So I'm finally at the point where I'm just building Spartans. Now Pursue wants me to take the base. I'm like, if you can't take it, I guess I'll take it. And then I have the money, and then he walks away. So now I'm like, no, go back. And now I just queue up another Spartan. Now I don't have the money again. So I'm like, I'm almost there. So I'm gonna try to take this base. That way, it's really not needed. But since I'm full pop, I might as well just have the base just in case this game turns into a base trade, which this map often does go into a base trade because both teams just push at the same exact time, or one team is waiting outside the base while the other team pushes up. So there's no point in really playing defense. But they have the base scouted, and I'm gonna end up having to DQ that base because Kai's is actually pushing up towards the Cubby. He can easily go and kill that base if I were to take it, so I just DQ it. I was pretty much yelling at Pursue not to die right there because Kai's pretty much just rolled up on him with with all his tanks. So Pursue does a clutch move and a recall. So if he died right there, I think I might have a D-bomb. But yeah, I do have a D-bomb, but I'd really rather not drop it. So I'm just going to heal up my tanks because I'm still full pop. Me and Kai's just had a couple random shots thrown at each other. Nothing really died. Just making sure they still have their base cleared. Just now Kai's is actually going to go in for his push. So we have a Ghastly RB. They're on a Tech 2 RB. I'm just gonna. My only focus right now is to kill their RB, and I insta candied. I'm gonna insta candy him right here. Kai drops a Mac, but their RB is dead. I'm gonna exchange Max and drop a pretty good one as well. And now we have a Ghastly RB and pretty much I think I actually have more tanks here right now because Defender's advantage is so good. So we're pretty much just gonna clean everything up and Pursue's going to die, which is kind of unfortunate, but he did enough damage to the point where I can just finish off everything that he didn't get. So Kai's going to lose a couple Spartans, all his tanks, and I have once again a pretty massive tank lead. So Metalloid, for some reason, brought all his vampires in after the fight, and Pursue has at least the same amount of vampires, but he has Stasis Bomb. So he doesn't really need me, but I mean, I don't really have anywhere else to be with my tanks right now because I'm just waiting for Pursue's RB to get back out. So I'm just going to send some tanks back just to help with the air engagement, even though Pursue's going to win that by a pretty dominating amount, even if I weren't sitting there because Stasis Bomb is just so much better than Stasis Drain. And Metalloid's pretty much nowhere near Tech 3 at this point just because we did that little hit on his base and dropped 3 heavies off him. So as you can see, now I'm on 10 tanks. I'm getting Neural Implant. And I'm thinking we should grab both of these Expos right now because there's really nothing they can do to stop them right now. And like I said earlier, if we have a base trade and we have 2 extra bases on them, they're just not going to be able to win that. So I'm thinking I'm going to take the bottom base, Pursue can take the top base, and his RB just popped out, which means Metalloid's RB is also back out, and we're just going to pretty much wait for him and then push up the Kaz's base. So if anyone's been in a party with Metalloid, you know that he makes some pretty outlandish claims sometimes, and he thinks he's I mean, not to be too insulting, but he claims he talks trash like straight to a lot of people's face and thinks he's like the top tier RV and the best RV and all that, but I don't know. I mean, it's just something special sometimes. I mean, I mean, I just don't know. But they see our base up there. So we're thinking whatever. I really don't care if they see the base. I'll be able to heal it after I get my heal back. And then I think right about now, yep, there he is. We see the RB Rage running to kill the base. So initially I'm like, oh, we can go play defense on your base. But I'm like, never mind, he's going to die. Let's just push on Kai's base. Because his RB will be completely out of position to actually help on this because he's too busy raging down the base. So the RB's probably going to come back, but when you have full pop power turret against Spartan power turret against a Tech 2 RB, The Tech 2 RB basically just loses. So I'm just stripping some pads off Kai's, waiting for their tanks to show up, and then here's Kai's tanks. I'm pretty much telling Pursue, oh, come on, raise your tanks. He's like, you're blocking me. I'm like, no, actually, right here, I tell him we should pull back a little bit because my mac's almost back, and I don't know. There was really no reason. But now I'm like, okay, let's go in, rage, rage, rage. And he's like, I can't move. I'm like, well, don't be bad or something. Just move. And he's like, I can't move. I can't help with this. But luckily for him, I'm going to drop a pretty pro Mac right here. And I think their RB might be raging me or something, but I don't even really care because it's a Tech 2 RB against like Neural Power Turret. So, oh no, here he is. I'm just going to insta-canny Metalwood once again, and he's just going to die. So we still have our Ghastly RB in the background, not helping at all because Pursue's really good at this game and can't get past my tanks because he's like has a fat RB or something. But Kai's going to resign, and Metaloid will too. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.